So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Cray Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad if you guys are new to this channel and you guys finally found me. For those of you guys who are returning, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful to be here doing your reading again today. Today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at why is your energy all screwed up? What's with this effed up energy? Okay, so it's a deep dive into your energetic state. Okay, you might feel imbalanced. You might just feel intense energy. I don't know. We're going to look at your energy and see what it is that's going on with your energy and hopefully provide some insight as to why your energy is doing whatever it is doing. Okay, so definitely not going to be everyone's reading. If you're perfectly peachy keen, maybe you clicked on here to see what comes through. That's absolutely fine. You're all welcome here. Okay, you guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. We will take a look at the decks first that we're using for this reading. There's quite a bit of them. Oops, it's in the reverse. Oops, jumbly. As you can see, lots of messages for this reading for sure from all these cards. Okay, this is kind of an impromptu reading that I'm doing here, so I don't know what's pulling through for the tarot. We will be using the Surrealist Tarot. Okay, so beautiful angels, 3 options to choose from for today's reading. Option number 1, pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at them. We have this sculpted owl for option 1. I'm going to turn the light on behind me. It's kind of getting weird shadows. Here is the option number 2. Okay, it's a wooden carved lion. All right, option number 3, this elephant. It's also made of wood. Okay, so sit with this energy, beautiful people. Okay, take as long as you need. If you get stuck, close your eyes, open your eyes. Absolutely fine to be called to multiple piles. Okay, you're not two-dimensional beings. You have lots of different aspects, lots of different energy pulling through. Could be people around you pulling through. Whatever messages are needing to come through will come through. Okay, so nothing is wrong. Okay, but if it doesn't resonate for you, then it most likely isn't your pile. Best way to know whether it resonates is to sit with the card layout, tap into your intuition. Okay, something you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether the pile feels right for you, and then sit through the channeling of the main message. I'll put the timestamps down below. It will take you directly to your pick, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 1, you guys picked the carved owl. I don't know what the material this is. Some type of stone. Okay. It looks like marble, but it's definitely not real marble. It feels way too light. Could be some form of alabaster, but I don't think, if I'm saying that right, if it's black and white. Anyway, I don't know. I'm getting pulled into this. So what are we looking at? Beautiful angels. We're looking at what's with your effed up energy. What's going on with your energy? Okay, a deep look into your energy and see what we see. Okay, this is an impromptu reading. I've pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at them. I asked spirits to deliver for pile 1 what you're needing to know about what's going on with your energy right here, right now. You clicked on this reading for a reason. Okay, so if this pile does not resonate with you, go check out another pile. I highly suggest you sit through the card layout, come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging is for you. If it doesn't resonate, it's not going to be your pile. Okay, so let's take a look, shall we? If you want to go straight away to the channeled message, you can click on the timestamp. So we have the number 8. You could be a life path 8, okay? So life path 8s are courageous, they're wise, okay? But on the negative aspect, or I guess the shadow aspect of life path 8s, they could be egotistical, they could be power hungry, okay? So 8 is Leo, 8 is Aquarius. So what do we have? We have 8th house of undercurrents. Is that what that says? Yeah, I'll let you guys look at this, okay? But the 8th house, can you guys see? So the 8th house, okay, is the house of intimacy. It's the house of merging. It's the house of shared finances, inheritances, taxes, properties, joint ventures, goals, okay, resources. So let's leave that there. And then we have faith. Miraculously, amazingly, everything I need always comes. Love is opening me to receive beyond anything I imagine. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Pink flowers, butterflies, and we have 15 core values. So 15 could represent devil energy. Okay, Capricorns also represent the lovers. Feeling more devilly from 15 than I am lovers, but lovers is Gemini. Okay, follow your heart and make your values a priority. Interesting. Already getting some messaging coming through. Okay, so possibilities with this tree. Barren tree. Blue could represent the throat chakra. Okay. And speaking our authentic truth and taking action on our truth. Okay, in line with our values. Maybe we're doing the opposite here. So black spruce. It says restore. I am broken as a trigger statement, but the true statement is I am illuminated. As you realize your attachment to the high and low, you find peace and balance. Honor the cycles of your body and energy now. Restore. As you release, did I say realize? I'm sorry. As you release your attachment to the highs and lows, you find peace and balance. Honor the cycles of your body and energy now. I was wondering why that didn't make sense. So attachment it's talking about is feeling devil from 15, which talks about attachment, okay? So we have Moonlight Enchanted. And we have Vanity with more blue, okay? But Vanity could talk about ego, and we were getting some ego from 8. Okay. We have Yellowing in number 14, Temperance Energy, which is this talk about the balance and the highs and the lows. Okay, but Yellowing is the dying off of something, the release of something. So something can emerge. Okay, maybe something old needs to be sort of put away here. Chiron, healing. Okay, this is the sort of the wounded healer. We're able to heal others and we're able to overcome certain challenges through healing process. Okay, so number 11. 11's a master number. Divine inspiration, synchronicity, the encouragement to keep going. And we have the bridge, 38. Or 11. So now we have 11. Some of you guys might signify as being on some sort of twin flame journey, okay? Or seeing just the number 11. It's very spiritual. The bridge. See 2 people on either side here, okay? Rainbow to me could talk about the spectrum of perspectives, seeing things from many different perspectives here. So I'm getting some Pisces energy. Okay, and then we see these two birds flying across this sun, I think, sun setting. Are those two people sitting here by the water side? It sure looks like it's to me. Seeing two people, two birds, two hands. Okay, we're seeing 1111, which I said could be signifying some sort of twin flame journey. We'll see. So we have listen. So this is this blue I'm feeling because the throat chakra also represents how authentic we could take in information. So a true listening and understanding of what's going on around us. Okay. We have someone with an amputated leg and a cane. You see their shadow here, and it looks like, I don't know if this is a bunch of like sticks they might be carrying on their head or something like this, but they're definitely missing a leg. So a cane in the oracle can talk about, you know, like this Chiron, it's like going through something, and then we had to heal. We might be moving very slowly, you know, needing support or something like this. And we see a shadow, and shadow's giving me this devil energy again, feeling some Capricorn energy from this. Okay, I'm feeling water from this. So we're getting some Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Yeah. And we have moon in Taurus with exaltation. Okay, so some moon here with enchanted moonlight. So moon is Cancer energy. All right, and then we have Hunter of Honor. Wow, this looks like a kangaroo. Hunter of Honor. It's going to say these cornucopias are kind of giving me like bouquets. Cornucopia can speak of abundance. Bouquets can talk about appreciation and honor. Gifts. Okay, we see the number 2. I don't know if I mentioned that. So 2s are all about balance, duality, choices. We were getting temperance, which is talking about the balance. Okay, which is 2. The 2s, like I was saying, was pulling through these cards. 2s are all about choices. Okay, it's about duality as well. So we have give back. Today is the day to cast aside normal routines and make your main purpose to serve. It is about giving back without any thoughts of expectation of getting anything in return. Reach out and touch people's spirits. And touch other people's spirits, as it's highly likely that someone really needs it today. Wow. And we see beautiful white rose. White could talk about authenticity and pureness. Okay, we see another hand. Look at these hands. Okay, hands could be symbolic of taking action, accountability, doing something. So I'm feeling a little bit of Emperor energy, which is Aries. Okay, this hand has a keyhole in it. It looks like it's putting a boundary of sorts or something. So it's like taking action on what we know, maybe. The keys talk about knowledge and information. Okay, it can talk about opening new doors. As we see all these stars. Stars can talk about hope and healing. We see the intuitive eye over here. So I'm getting some Pisces, some Aquarius. It says, what is hidden will be revealed. Okay. So we have the walker, an unknown, the unknown, and a journey. Here we see 3 swallows or swifts. They're similar to this bird. Here we see 2. Here we see 3. Also with the sun rising here. This one looked like sunset. This one looks like sunrise. I don't know. Okay. Fascinating synchronicities. And we have Mercury, Venus, 21 or 3. Okay, so Mercury ruling planet for Virgo and Gemini, and Venus ruling planet for Taurus, Libra. So something about how we're communicating. Are we communicating some sort of authentic expression? Do we exaggerate? Or are we speaking truths? Are we covering up? So what's going on here? Okay, and then we have stairs, hierarchy, movement, and accessibility. So remember we opened up with the 8. 8 is about movement. So we're ending with movement again. Stairs can talk about ascension. Yeah, hierarchy. Accessibility. Okay. Accessibility. And we have the cane here. So something slowly being accessed. So let me tap into this energy. Okay, I do feel it like that. And channel before we get into the tarot. You guys can certainly skip ahead. I don't know which wand I want. I think I want a clarity here. Let's. Thank you. Okay, this one here. Okay, gorgeous, beautiful angel. I love you very much. Okay, this reading here is most likely your energy, but if it doesn't sound like you, it could be someone around you. Okay, but I do feel it's your energy. Okay, and the messaging is clear here. I do feel like we're going through a transition for sure. Okay, but this is really about spiritual movement and growth, ascension, and change that's happening energetically. And we might not be experiencing the 3D in a way here that makes any sense at all whatsoever. It could be very discouraging, you know? And it's almost like when we manifest something in the 3D, it has to sort of energetically be in the right vibration and alignment for us to manifest. The manifestation in the 3D is sort of the last form to take place. This is massive what you're going through here, you know? And so it's needing to iron out and flush out in order for there to be a 3D manifestation of something that feels solid for you. And so your energy right now might feel wobbly because it's not really pegged to anything. It might feel very much high and low, imbalanced, okay, sorry, or imbalanced, sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but it's out of whack, okay, so highs and lows, and then it's like, you know, when we have something we can anchor to and secure to, it makes everything else sort of feel stable or better for us, or at least it gives us stability and we can put up with certain parts of our world that might be unstable. So for example, if work is sort of treacherous, but our home life is good, we kind of come home and we have support in our home life and we're able to sort of get through. And then that period passes, you know, a period of time where we're working with a shitty person, unless who's very difficult to work with, or I don't know, something's happening, you know, and usually it passes over. Why am I having a hard time speaking? Oh my goodness. It passes on. Okay. The situation or the circumstance. This is not anything like this at all. This is a highly spiritual experience here where you're truly being sort of tested, you know, and we can say, well, why would spirit want to test me in this way? It's like, spirit isn't wanting anything. This is talking about true experience through living spirituality, experiencing spirituality, integrating truths, okay, truths that aren't just told to you or spoken. So, for example, if we have a religion that's kind of spoken to us, there could be strong belief, okay, there could be strong conviction and faith based on what has been indoctrinated upon us or explained to us. Okay, nothing wrong with this. But then there is deeper layers of understanding when we go through certain spiritual experiences, like seeing God, witnessing certain spiritual things that we know are unworldly and that we were experiencing something supernatural, that we were going through something that couldn't be explained into words. And maybe we didn't even sort of believe it. We still don't understand the purpose of it. So why is this all wacky? Is because these things are happening. All of this is happening here, and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know why it's happening, and I feel all sort of wackadoodle here. Okay, now, Spirit is talking about why, the main sort of crux of this whole thing, which might ease your mind a little bit better. This transition is to shift everything from perspective, your spiritual growth, your trust in the divine, your faith in your intuition and yourself, and your devotion to the divine, and for you to align with better core values. Better. And when I say better, better for you, more aligned to you, more aligned with authenticity. Okay, when we're aligned with other people's beliefs of what they tell us is true, and we run with it, we might make a life of it, but there's some superficiality there. There's something missing. There's something disconnected. And we might have not have realized we were disconnected or not living true and authentic until we get slapped sort of upside the head with a spiritual experience or with something that's showing us a greater truth. This truth is being shown to you, and it's all about you and your connection to the divine and yourself, so you can align with greater truths that are your authentic truth, which means a process of releasing a lot of what's not you, including ego, including identities, including whatever needs to go away, relationships, dissatisfying situations, circumstances, but deeper than that, ways of being, ideas and stories of how I thought I had to be or who I thought I was. This all falls away. And this falls away, and as it falls, it's a painful process because we go through it very slowly, like this person with a cane, because we're still not patched up or strong or enlightened, if you will, or in a balanced state. And so we're going through the terrain feeling somewhat disabled and robbed. So now not only are we hanging on to that solid state, like I said, if one part of our world is solid, we could go home at the end of a shitty day of work and be okay and go back to the shitty work the next day. This is like there's nothing to anchor to, and here I'm hobbling along here, spirits. And so I experience every sort of thing along this way. There's no shortcut, and it's designed like this for a reason. And how do we feel hobbling like this? We feel broken, incomplete. What was solid isn't there no more. So what remains? How is this better? How is this better going through this shedding, this slow state, this painful state, this highs and lows that I'm feeling happening that make me feel uncomfortable, and it's going through very slowly, and I feel like I'm barely sort of moving. Will I ever get to the other side? Am I supposed to feel this? Am I supposed to be feeling what I'm feeling right now, or am I stuck somehow? Will I forever sort of be going through this transition? When will I get there? And what am I supposed to sort of be uncovering here other than just this torture, There's a lot of this sort of an energy. And so Spirit is talking about a new dawn, a new day rising for you. But this is like, this version of you has not been experienced at all. This isn't about just understanding an aspect of self. Okay, this is about completely tapping into the light being of who you are, and then being able to be comfortable with that. And this shifting how you make decisions, how you live your life, what you want for yourself, and then balancing your energy to be true to that version of you without wobbling or without doubting or fearing, And so this takes some time. Okay, but Spirit wants you to know that you're absolutely loved, you're absolutely appreciated, you're absolutely in an energy here that is supported, whether you feel like you are supported or not in the 3D, because some of you guys might feel like you're walking it alone. I do feel like there is energy around you, if it's not in the 3D, visible to you, of a journey of sorts here, because we're seeing the two birds. Spirit wants you to know that Spirit is always beside you, okay, going through this experience. But I do feel that there's two here, there's mirroring happening here, okay? I'm even seeing the two hands here. So what I'm feeling Spirit is talking about here, when we get to a point of experience and integration, which might take some time, however long it takes, without judgment, with acceptance, release of what's not me and everything that was sort of holding me back or slowing me down or not allowing me to be the best version of me, or no longer aligned to my authenticity. Once that falls, what remains here is a true version that can contribute, that has taken the role of contributing to the collective, to give back to the collective. How? And by your experience and by your healing, by your integration, by your understanding and your knowledge of this, you're able to then provide insight and guidance and assistance to others selflessly. Okay, this is through a true love of the divine and a true love of just the collective here, wanting to serve. Okay, so this service that you provide has to be one when you are feeling at the point where you're ready to do this. Okay, so do not feel obligated that, there will be a point where we're wanting to make this sort of painful journey worth it. And it's like, I will give back now, I will do something here. And it's like, Spirit wants you to know, only when you're solid enough, only when you understand enough for there to be a broader perspective of understanding, are you then going to be in an energy to provide service and to give back. But this isn't something that you're needing to feel like obligated that you got to do right now, because if we're not sort of healed, if we're not in a balanced energy, there is no way that we're able to be in a solid energy to deliver whatever we're being called to deliver. Okay, so you're definitely going through a process of ascension in the dark. And this darkness is really being led by intuition, not seeing in the 3D anything lining up. This could be very discouraging. We're discouraged because nothing's lining up. I don't see it right now. In fact, there's a lot of doubt here. And then I go back into fear. Fear, what if I'm going to stay in the state? What if nothing does manifest? What if this is worse than it was before? You know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather stick to the devil I know, the ignorance I know, or the safety of the world that I know, even though we were selling our true, authentic self, even though it was keeping us small, even though it was like not allowing me to have the freedom to get to a pinnacle here. And I feel like a pinnacle is one of giving back. A pinnacle here is a multitude of possibilities, of doors that are open. And then the choice is yours. But you're conscious. And it's like, do you want to stay put? Do you want to do whatever? The world's your oyster. The choice is yours. Okay, this is truly connecting to a part of yourself that you haven't connected to yet, that you haven't heard, and it's buried somewhere within you that wants to be seen, wants to be experienced and understood. And then it's your free will and conscious choice which decision you want to do and where you want to go down. But Spirit is saying you must be awake to make this decision. You must be conscious to make this decision. And so right now, the process is one of working through the intuition, being guided by the intuition, feeling disabled in some way because we're not fully ascended in a way here that allows us to capture all the perspectives we're needing in order to have a higher state of consciousness, which means I can only see what I'm consciously able to see. And so it might be very narrow. And as I ascend, my level of consciousness, it becomes greater, which means I can hold various perspectives at once. And when I hold various perspectives at once, this takes me to different places because now I can see and manifest different things and take action on different things that are now visible in my awareness in the 3D. But if I stay small, if I stay asleep, I don't see those things. I stay sort of robotic. I stay sort of doing the same things. And so Spirit's saying, you're not going to do the same things. You could choose to if you want to, but this process is all about you seeing it first, seeing it. And it's not something that's just going to be like, see the thing that you're capable of being, like let's say we're an actor or a singer or something like this, okay? Like inside of ourselves, like a creator, but we, we're lived our whole life as a mechanic or a doctor or a janitor or a salesperson, whatever. It doesn't matter what the thing is, but it's like a dormant thing. And it's like we see singers, we see artists, and we're just like, wow, that's great. We could see it all day long. It's not going to make us make this jump because over time, the identity of the janitor or of the doctor or of the thing that we are has been developed and it became our identity. And so we have to undo, that's this yellowing, undo and release those beliefs, those thoughts of the attachment to that I am a doctor, I am this person. It's like you're none of those things. Okay, you might have had experiences in that world, but you may have a dormant talent here. And Spirit wants you to inner experience what it's like and know once you release whatever isn't you, that what is you is going to be understood and inner felt. And then you're going to be able to decide, do I want to go down the road of creating my art, creating my music, creating my whatever it is? Or do I want to choose to sort of, remain in the world that I was in? Which, by the way, would be something that doesn't emotionally fulfill the soul. And so this is all about filling your soul, feeding the soul in a way here that is truly aligned with your purpose and your authenticity that you don't currently see today, because the mind is understanding who you are. The mind is telling you who you should be and what your identity is. This goes beyond mind. This goes through an inner experience of knowing a true version of you exists somewhere. Okay, now this isn't a little I, a little ego I. This is like the true fingerprint of God, because we're all very unique. Okay, and so your unique blessing here is something that is innately within you, that has been buried or has been dormant, like I say, and we've been living in a different sort of world. This is being seen and understood and realized by you, so you can make different choices and decisions here that bring you emotional happiness and feed your soul. Okay, but you would never know to take action here if you don't connect to it. Okay, like connect to it as an inner experience and just sort of see it. I see singers all the time, and maybe you like to sing, but it's like there is no bridging that gap between making it a reality here, or really being aligned with the essence of who you are. Isn't just a dream, isn't just a fantasy, isn't just a thought of some story of who you could be. If you took aim in some way, it's like, no, you were born to do something here that's aligned with the truth of who you are. And so there's this blind sort of journey that you're on. And so why your energy is all out of whack is because we're not like spirit does not sort of spirit acts however spirit needs to in order to get you there. Okay, and getting there sometimes is a very whack process, because imagine if we took the last 5 years and we wiped it from your mind and we just said, get from the 5 years to right now without any of that experience. Would you be the same person? No. You had to have all of that experience in order to be who you are today. And so whatever this journey is, no matter how slow and painful, and no matter how it feels discombobulated, it's all like this for design. You must feel the discombobulation. You must feel the slowness. You must feel the torture. You must feel whatever you're feeling here, And it's not to create a suffering just for the sake of it. It's the suffering that creates change. It's the integration of experience that we can finally have different perspective and have contrast, as long as we don't attach to that identity and that experience. And so we're having experiences so we could create contrast, so we can create perspectives. There are many perspectives, okay? And all perspectives are relatively true, okay? But there is the God's perspective, which is the absolute truth. And in order to get close to this truth, it's like we must be able to hold all perspectives as truths and see them all under God's universe, because they're all sort of true. Do you know what I'm saying? And so if we can't hold all those perspectives, and I'm not saying we have to agree with them, but if we can't conceptually understand and hold an intellect that could appreciate those perspectives, though we're not really stretching ourselves. I feel like it's just this one, stretching ourselves. Okay, and this is all about stretching consciousness, stretching our spirituality, stretching our consciousness when we ascend here. Okay, step by step by step. I feel like it's step by step by step. And look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stairwells with all of these stairs. I feel like this is just the beating up process. Okay, it can really resonate with this pile. This process is like long, tedious, and like it seems like hobbling through a desert. Like I need resources. It's like dry here, and how long have we been wobbling, and will I survive? Am I going to die in the midst of this desert? It might sound very dramatic here, but it's like really feeling like I don't have the resource. I'm feeling abandoned in a way because I'm alone and having to trek this thing, not knowing, and it's also, I feel handicapped and slow here. Like I'm not given the tool that I need to get through. And so there's doubt that I'll even get through. Okay, death, look at that. Spiritual transformation, okay? Death is a major arcana. Major arcana talks about the universe. It's not like a 10 swords where we're just sort of quit a job, This is a death. This is a major release, a major transformation, spiritual transformation. Okay, Scorpio energy coming through. And so we could be going through a dark night of the soul. We could go through a major sort of death of who we no longer are, ego death. Okay, major transition in every aspect of our world, which could be happening bit by bit by bit. It's like here I dealt with my job, and maybe here I deal with my relationship, and maybe here I deal with geographically where I live, and maybe here I deal with spiritually how I practice. And so all of these aspects of my world are being turned upside down, because I feel like it's every aspect of your world is being impacted here. It's not just about, oh, what's my purpose? What do I want to do for a living? It's like, yeah, but it's everything. It's everything, and everything is being ripped out. Like it's really massive here, And look at death, even in the 8th house. Okay, death, crisis. So this could be like an ego crisis here, like an existential crisis is what I mean. Spirituality, like it's very deep, very profound, very layered, and very misunderstood. And so this is the challenge, is like, because it's misunderstood conceptually, how could I find the answer? How could anyone tell me answers? It's not really something that could mentally be grasped. And so this is an experience I have through an integration of experience, of an inner knowing that makes me wiser at the end of this thing. But again, it's not intellectual. So how am I wise? It's like I'm intellectually wise, spiritually wise. I'm physically changing my world so that I can align with greater authenticity. Okay. Wow. 2 cups in reverse. So I was feeling those twos, like I said, we might really feel misaligned. Again, it's like the people around me, and the things I'm doing, the relationships I'm in, it feels misaligned. It really does. It's like it's not giving to me. It's not on my level. It's not emotionally a flow state. 2 cups is 2 parts of the equation, you and your other world here, that equally trust one another to be able to share from the same emotional cup. And it's very intimate, and it's very, it relies on trust. It relies on giving of self completely, wholly, okay, for union. And it's like, if we don't trust, if there's something lacking or missing in that equation, it's like it's not balanced. I feel like there's like a lack here of, not that you have a lack mindset. I'm not seeing this, but I feel like it's a lack right now of the resources I'm really feeling, and maybe we're really used to having another person or someone to share with or trust in or provide me with that emotional balance, or have this safe anchor, like I said. And it's like, where's the safe anchor? Where's the safe anchor? I used to at least rely on my home, or, and work with shit, like that example I used, or I was in a relationship, and now it's like I'm no longer. And so it's like I'm floating here. I'm floating alone in some way where I can't really trust my environment or certain people. And I don't know why I'm saying trust, but it's like we have to trust in order to be balanced emotionally, but also for some of us, this is talking about this emotional highs and lows. And it's like, I can't get balanced or regulated here. And if I cannot be balanced emotionally, I can't show up with a solid cup, because my cup is wavering. And maybe sometimes I feel like giving, and maybe sometimes I feel withheld. Sometimes I feel depressed and lonely where I want to be alone. And sometimes I feel I want to share, And so it's like this up, down. And so we can't be in a stable give and take, give and receive, I should say, until we're sort of healed, or at least until we stabilize, because there's an imbalance here, I feel. Okay. Knight of Cups. So cups, very strong. Emotions, again. What do I love? What is coming from my heart? What's my true authentic purpose? What am I doing? Do I love what I'm doing? Am I speaking from the heart? Am I taking action on the heart? Am I loving the right people? Or am I sort of living in a different world that isn't aligned to my truth? And I'm just doing motions. And it's like, but it's not at my level, or it's not aligned with my heart. I feel like this energy here is not aligned with their heart. So they're in relationships that don't make them happy, or they've been in workplaces that don't make them happy, or life purpose that's sort of misaligned here. And there's something calling, and the something calling is Spirit saying there's something greater, something true to your heart. This is where you're being pulled to. This is where I want you to take action. This is what will be revealed to you. It will be seen. It will be shown when it's time, when you're ready. Trust. But how do we trust when we're in the middle of the desert and we don't see any water, and we have a cane and there's no cars? And it's like Spirit saying, trust, you're going to get there. It's like, yeah, I'll get there in 70 days and 70 nights. I'm going to be dead by then. Really is how we feel, because we're not seeing anything here. And it really feels very challenging here. Okay. I feel like crying. So we have the moon in reverse. What did I say? Navigating with the emotion, feeling in the dark, but all will be seen, all will be revealed. What is hidden will be revealed. Something isn't being seen right now for a reason. The reason is very valid. And just because we don't know what it is and we don't like it doesn't mean it's not valid and needed. We're not seeing for a very good reason. We have to inner experience this wobbly journey to get to the other side, so we could gain this perspective that's much needed. And this perspective is needed because there's some destined result here. There's some place we're going to. Okay, some purpose, some deliverable, something of service. We're having to be at a certain level of understanding here. Okay, so we have Two of Wands in reverse. So the twos again. Okay, twos are about balance, duality, and choices. And so I feel like Spirit's talking again about the choice. When we were in the ignorant world, or asleep in the matrix, or not awakened, or not going through this transformation, we could say, well, I preferred it, or it was better, or it felt safe, or it didn't cause me pain, or it was easy, or whatever we want to use those words. It was more stable, or it was whatever. What it was, though, was still numbing. What it was still not a truth. Okay, an objective truth. It was our truth, and we could have lived under this rock. Okay, but it was impacting the decisions we were making. And Spirit is saying those decisions we were making were actually not aligned with the truth of who we are. We were choosing relationships to stay small or stay safe. We were choosing jobs that we thought we needed because it paid our bill, but it wasn't aligned with what we were supposed to do. And we'd keep choosing those things. The only reason why we're having this is to choose differently. How can we choose different? When we see different. So this is all about seeing different, because I experienced different and now I know different. I could truly hold that perspective now because I've lived it, and now I'm no longer asleep. Now I'm no longer in this darkness, but this brings up a lot from the subconscious, a lot of things. And when we have those things, it's like, this is probably why we lost a leg, and why we're losing a whole bunch of things here. Obviously not literally, but it's like the capacity to do something that I used to do well is now challenging for me in this environment. I can no longer do what I used to be able to do. It's been removed from me, or I had to part with it, or I know I can no longer do with it. But now it's like I'm tortured, or I'm like, I feel a little bit more physically less than in the 3D in order to get somewhere, It's like a self-sacrifice we had to make in order to gain some sort of understanding. Okay, Knight of Wands and the statue. I don't know if I have to cover this up. I'm going to be a rebel because I don't care right now. The YouTube can demonetize all they want. Okay, so Knight of Wands, Seven of Wands. So, beautiful angel. I feel like when we're full of fire for life, and we really have purpose and conviction, and we fight for what matters, it feels so different because we feel it through our veins, through our blood, through our actions. Spirit wants all of your actions to be aligned for great purpose. you know, and great purpose is great purpose to you. It gives you meaning and purpose. It doesn't make you feel numb and asleep like you're living for, paycheck, or living for someone else, or checking off a box, or just sort of surviving, or like, even if you were well off, it's like, but we're not really in line with the great purpose of who we were truly meant to be. And so it doesn't matter how fed we were, or how much money, or how supported we might have been, if it was misaligned. So we could have all the people under the sun, singing our praises, but it's like, maybe they don't truly understand me. Maybe this job doesn't truly push me to create, or to contribute something here, push me to be this best version of me that I know I can be. But right now I'm not that version, because I haven't seen it or connected to it, even though it exists. This version of you isn't someone you're going to attain. This version of you isn't someone that's finally you're going to like reach, by doing all this work and getting there. It's like, no, that version of you is within you. The work that's being done here is the shedding of what's not you, and the beliefs and the fears and the restrictions and the physical things in the 3D that are actually misaligned. Okay, and so the only things that are going to align with you in the 3D are the things that speak to your heart, are the things that are authentic and pure. This fires you up. This is going to allow you to move towards it, to fight for these things, and it's not even fight, because what's for you, you don't got to fight or chase, but meaning fight for, like live for, have conviction for, stand behind, like truthfully. It's like, when we own our own business, it's like we say these things that we mean about our business, but when we work for someone else, it's like, they give you a script, you go knock on doors and you say, yeah, we're the vacuum cleaner people and we do the best in the block. It's like, you don't know that they do the best in the block, but they tell you that they do. And so you go and you tell your customer that you're the best vacuum cleaner people in the block, because you work for, I don't know, Vic's vacuum cleaner. And if you ask Vic, who owns the company, yeah, he's going to tell you it's the best in the block. He's full of this. My business, best in the block, best in the block. He has a passion for vacuum cleaners. You just want to, sell the service so you can eat or whatever. And it's like, it's a difference. This isn't about owning your own business either, but it's about owning your own soul, owning your own freedom, to choose. But you can only choose when you see. And if you don't see, you're still asleep and sort of, making decisions in the blind, and it's not your fault. It's just you were set up this way. 6 wands. So, beautiful angel, you're set up to have victory here, okay? But not through an egoic victory, not through an identity that's created in the matrix here. Okay, I feel like you're going to be seen, appreciated. Like this appreciation keeps coming through. Okay, with this cornucopia, you're going to be seen, appreciated, and maybe, you were trying to play small, or you just, it's not even playing small so much as it is you were living small, because this is sort of what's coming through. And I can only sort of relate with this thing. It's like, we don't think low of ourselves, but it's like, I just feel like I'm one of everyone else in some way, and you are in some capacity, because everyone is sort of special. But it's like, all these people could be in their highest potential. And so we see certain people reaching their high potential, and they're just breathtaking. They're authentic, and they're seen, and they're honored. And, everyone should really be honored. But it's like, what's honorable about me not being myself? What's honorable about me, just sort of doing motions? Not a whole lot, because there's a lot of people just sort of doing that. And so when I am authentic, when I actually show that I'm in line with, with faith, rather than with what's sort of in the 3D that's paying my bill or something. It's like, I'm trusting the blind. I'm trusting my intuition. I'm trusting my authenticity. It's like, wow, you're seen, and then you get this recognition. And so this doesn't mean you have to be like infamous or famous or, worldwide known, but this is about people around you see you. You're like revered in some way. You're appreciated in some way. You're seen in some way. And you're like, you could certainly become, I don't know, like a public person, that's seen through your talent. I call it the talent, your purpose, your alignment of authenticity, whatever this is. I don't know if it's a skill or a trade or a psychic thing or it's something though that is you, whatever it is. and it is going to be seen by those around you. And it's not hidden, it's visible, and it is appreciated, and it is you winning here at your life, winning your soul back in some way here, claiming what is yours. Okay, so a beautiful angel, this is your energy read. I feel for you. It's not easy. This is really coming through, like as an energy of what you feel. If I have to wrap it all up, I feel like I'm going through a desert with a cane and I don't see how I'm going to get out of here. And I have this big stick like thing over my head and probably a basket full of sticks. And it's like, how do I get there? How do I get there? And I feel alone. I feel like I'm missing resources. And you are feeling this way, and maybe it's not as heavy as this all the time, because again, where we're getting the imbalance, ups and downs. Okay. But Spirit is saying, like, there will be times you feel this way. Okay. And then when you're feeling the opposite way, it's like, we don't want to cling to that and attach to that. We want to find balance. This is all about becoming balanced and trusting the faith that you'll get through this thing, that you'll have the resources you need, that you are not alone. Okay. This is required for there to be a transformation, and all will be revealed. There is nothing hidden that wants to remain hidden. The only reason it's hidden right now is because you're not conscious enough to see it. You're going to become conscious enough to hold the perspective to see it. When consciousness is too little and narrow, this means we can't see it or grasp it, no matter how much Spirit puts it in front of us. This is kind of like that 5-year analogy I was using. If I said jump, from 5 years back to right now, your consciousness couldn't grasp a lot of things that you've been grasping intuitively and working through and growth. Okay, it has to be inner experience. There is no cutting corners. There's no jumping over, leapfrogging over certain experiences, no matter how torturous. It's not because Spirit wants to torture you. It's because this is the way it is done, so that it is done in a way you understand. Okay, and this is going to give you true conviction. And it's going to, be like this beautiful energy of being seen, and being appreciated for this part of you that's been dormant. Okay, so gorgeous angel, this is your reading. I love you very much. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angel. Pile number 2. You guys picked the lion carved piece of wood. Absolutely adorable. I love this lion. We're looking at your effed up energy. What's going on with this wackadoodle energy that you're experiencing? Okay, so it's a deep dive, taking a look what Spirit wants to communicate to you about your energy. Okay, like I said, this probably isn't going to be for everybody, but if you resonate, with this messaging, then it's your pile. If it's not resonating for you, you can go check out another pile. The best way to do this is to use your intuition. Sit through the card layout and ask Spirit to see whatever you're needing to see or hear or feel. That will determine whether this is your pile or not. Okay, if you're good with your intuition, you can go straight away to the channeled message, but I will lay these out. Okay, I've not looked at these, and I asked Spirit specifically, pile number 2, what's going on with their energy? Can we take a look at this screwed up energy or whatever they're needing to know about their energy so that they can gain some clarity? Okay, so we have 68 with resolve. This is a period of indecision and inner conflict, and it is a time to make a decision. Oh my goodness. So 2 swords coming from that. Okay, but that's 14. 14 is temperance, which is about balance and healing. Okay, it's also about being divinely guided with the temperance. Resolve, interesting. Okay, so we have extraordinary. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. Wow. So peacock sometimes gives to me ego, okay, because it's like pride in some capacity, but sometimes it's having to express certain parts of ourselves. Having to be seen. I'm not feeling ego so much as I'm feeling the truest expression being seen, not fearing being seen or expressing self in some way here. Maybe we have been holding ourselves back or playing small or something like this, instead of making some decision. Heal heart and spirit. Wow, look at that. The green and the blue. So heart is green. Purple is, the psychic, rays, or I guess the chakras here, the spiritual chakras. Okay, so we have a union here. So this could be, spiritual and heart balance. or integration of the heart and our higher spiritual self or 5D self, things we can't see and touch. And so this could be the decision. It's like, where does my heart sit? Is there a greater truth with all of this purple that I'm being shown or seen or guided? Like I said, there's some sort of guidance here from the divine. Okay. Yeah, Sagittarius energy. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, so we have cleanse with celery seed. So it says the trigger statement, there is no answer. The true statement, I am the answer. The aligned outcome for you is simple, but not necessarily easy. Commit your goals to heart each day and know every single action will take you closer to them. What's interesting is it's talking about an outcome. And this is no answer and an answer. Here is an indecision and an inner conflict, and so it's really guiding us towards using our heart to make decisions and saying, I am the answer. Maybe there's a lot of doubt here, and doubt comes from mind. Doubt does not come from heart. Doubt can come from experience and from trauma and from shadow. And so there's something about the true version of I am the answer. And the only way we could get to the I am is really connecting to heart, through clearing out some of the doubt. Okay. Or I feel there might be a lack of confidence as well that's coming through here. So moon rising with truth. Wow. Love the truth. So Ace of Swords energy coming through. Now we have destiny. Okay. With the yin, the yang, the light and the dark. Now in the book, this talks about these lovers, and they couldn't be together in this lifetime. And so they had to go to council to ask for it to be reviewed so that they could come together somehow again and be together. And I think it was approved after they had to go through being torn apart in some capacity, So something about destiny happening here. Again, this guidance, Wow. Yeah, we're seeing the masculine, the feminine, the yin, the yang. Could be aspects of self here. Okay, moon. Wow, feminine energy. Okay, moon talks about subconscious. Moon can talk about emotions. I'm feeling heavy emotions. Okay, I'm seeing moon here with moon rising. So something in the subconscious as well. Maybe shadow. Okay, maybe doubt. Maybe lack of confidence. Something in the subconscious again. But I feel like there's something emotional here having to be expressed or seen or taken action upon that's coming from heart. Okay, so we have ash. A 33. Wow, 33 is a master number. 33 is reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, and harmony. Ash can talk about, like the phoenix. It's like it's ashes and then it rises from nothing here. But whatever was here was sort of, it can no longer be put together again. Something was, like burnt away here. Okay. So we might have even experienced something that wasn't pleasant, that we're having to move beyond or grow past in some way. That's really made an imprint on our psyche somehow, in our subconscious. Okay, the womb. Wow, 46. So 46 could be an age here. Okay, or 33. So this is the number 10. 10 is all about completions, ends of cycles, transformations. Also Wheel of Fortune, which is giving me this destiny. But the womb is the feminine, and the feminine's in the moon. Okay, so we have heavy feminine energy. It doesn't mean you have to be born female, but this could be about receptive type energy, about emotions. Womb. Birthing something, creating something. Okay, 33 is about reproduction. The womb could be ready for some sort of reproduction of something, a birthing of something. We have this oracle card, and it looks like what's it called? Maypole? Is that what it's called? So two people here, looks like they're celebrating. I don't know, I'm going to call it a maypole, but they have these ribbons, and they're putting the ribbons on this. I don't know, it's not going into focus. It's kind of even looking like a little bit of a Christmas tree up at the top here. Okay. This could be significant for someone. I'm not sure what the significance of the maypole is, but two people. This person is wearing white and green. It looks like white is authenticity. Green is this heart chakra coming through. This divine feminine has blonde hair and she's wearing purple. And look, so he's in green, she's in purple. Masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. Okay, so there could be something about balancing the masculine and the feminine. Open. I'm getting Aquarius energy from this. So again, the spiritual opening, you know, where we receive downloads, where we open the third eye, where we get in tune with the divine here. We have to be open to receive. Okay, but if our fears get in the way, then we're not seeing clearly. This door is open. Wow, look at this door. So it's leading to a beautiful field, a sunny day. Open door. Open. This door is open too. Look at that. I didn't even notice it. We have two doors. One's open on one side, one's open on the other. Now I'm getting the yin yang again. And this one sort of looks like sun. This one looks like the star. This one looks like the night. This one looks like the day. Fascinating. All right. Wow. And we see clouds. Clouds can talk about confusion, you know, or uncertainty. And we opened with uncertainty. We have the moon in Capricorn, number 10, practicality. So 10 coming out again. Okay. And this looks like we're farming. Practicality. Okay. And we have ancestor of hope. Wow. So it kind of looks like a horse. And horses do talk about empowerment. Okay, liberation. Freedom. We have animal kingdom. Animals of all types are extraordinary creatures and miraculous gifts to us. They've been our spiritual companions since the dawn of time. At this moment, they have lessons to share with you that will open your heart and soul. Wow. So we saw horse. This whole reading, I used animals. So very synchronistic for you. You chose the lion. So it could be your spirit animal or something about courage maybe. Or bravery, confidence, again, coming through very strong. Some of you guys might have resonated with pile 1. Okay, because 1 was 8, the number 8 came through that reading. But that's just for some of you guys who might have been called. But here we see a dog, a rabbit, a horse. So 2 horses now. A black cat. Okay, it looks like a golden retriever. We see 2 doves, snake, butterflies. Actually, yeah, and an eagle. And an iguana, some fish. So lots of animals here. Okay. It could be significant for some of you guys. If you have like a golden retriever, or a gold lab, or a labradoodle or something like this, could be a sign, or a black cat. Okay. Take that as confirmation. Oh, I missed a turtle too. So number 3, everything you need too soon. Wow. So more Aquarius energy and more cloud. The clouds, we're confused about something, we're not seeing clearly about something, you know, everything too soon. Maybe there's an opportunity in front of us, seems too good to be true, you know, sort of not wanting to see it, or we're not seeing how to move through it because we have some misunderstanding of who we are or what we're about, which I feel might be a lack of confidence in some sort of capacity or in some sort of ability to do something we think we might need to be able to do. The poet, relationships and vulnerability. Yeah. So this is all about being vulnerable, relationship to everything and everyone. Okay. Animals can talk about the instinct we have and where we don't use the mind. We just sort of act instinctually. Animals don't second guess, you know, and so they're always in confidence, you know, and even when there's fear of being like a threat out there, they're still confident in their energy to react and respond in ways that are going to be natural. You know, there's something about your natural self is enough. And maybe we don't realize this in some capacity. So we have the card of Pluto. Okay, so Pluto's the shadow planet, Scorpio energy pulling through. Okay, so again with the dark, okay, integration of shadow. Here we have Chiron Uranus 56, so number 11. 11 talks about divine inspiration, okay? Synchronicity and the encouragement to keep going. Chiron is the planet of healing, so it's the wounded healer, and Uranus is this Aquarius energy that I keep getting through your reading. Okay, Aquarius is thinking outside the box. Okay, but Aquarius with the star is about healing. Stars could be about a vision, something like this. But Uranus is this great awakening energy. It could be tower energy, spontaneous energy. All you need too soon, or everything you need too soon. So we have the file, mystery, strangeness, and transformation. And look at this. I guess it's a file, but it looks like a little jug. Okay, and it has energy within it, and the eye is open, and out here the eye is closed, the intuitive eye. So again, I'm getting the open, closed, black, white, the female, masculine energy, this whole like duality thing. Okay, mystery, strangeness, and transformation. I'm being called to read this one here, and then we'll start to channel your reading. Okay, and then we'll get into the tarot as well. But let's see, number 3. It says, everything you need too soon. After a period of wanting, you are now being showered with love and abundance. When emerging from a state of scarcity, you can become blind to all the blessings you receive. If your cup is empty, each drop that enters feels as though it is trying to water a drought. This is a flood, and it is truly such a wonderful thing, but it can also be overwhelming at the same time. Take little sips. Take moments to count all the wonderful things happening around you. Soon, your palms will reach open to receive all the goodness showering upon you. Wow. Big blessings here, pile number 2 for you. It's kind of like feeling like a blessing and a little bit of a curse at the same time, but it's like the curse from within us. Okay, let me sit with this energy, okay? No, sorry, I just gotta rearrange these. Okay. Okay, I'm really drawn to this maypole, and I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to look on my phone what this maypole could be about. I know it's some sort of tradition. Maypole is a tall, decorated pole traditionally erected as a focal point for May Day festivities and other celebrations, particularly in Europe. It's often adorned with ribbons and flowers and serves as the center for traditional folk dance called maypole dance. Here's more details. Maypoles are typically wooden tall poles, sometimes living trees that are decorated with ribbons, flowers, and greenery. The maypole is most famously associated with May Day celebrations, marking the arrival of spring and summer. A central part of the tradition is a maypole dance, where people often in groups dance around the pole, weaving ribbons together. Maypoles have roots in ancient pagan rituals and have been adopted into various European folk tradition. A maypole is sometimes seen as a symbol of fertility, with the pole itself representing masculine energy and the ribbons and decorations representing the female energy. What did I say about masculine, feminine? That kept coming through here. And all of the synchronicity, I'm seeing black, white, I'm seeing open door on one side, on the other. Okay, anyway, let me just tap in. Okay, pile number 2. If this is not your energy, it is someone around you, okay? Take what resonates here. I'm going to read this as it's you, okay? So, everything going on with your energy is all internal. I think you might already know this. Your outside world is developing something here. It might be something here that might seem scary, very scary. Why is it so scary for us? Because we're not used to what it's offering or what it means. Can I trust it? Can I actually trust it? And it's more of like, trust myself to engage with it. I feel like there's a very heavy sort of duality going on here. Okay, with the masculine or feminine energy. Now, this could be symbolic of two aspects of self. It could literally be talking about a masculine and a feminine sort of energy in this 3D world coming into some sort of acceptance or union, okay, which could be in a relationship of sorts, you and someone else, okay, or it could be both aspects of myself, and I'm working in this sort of alignment here in a relationship, okay, whatever the relationship means. Doesn't have to be an intimate sexual lovers relationship, but definitely some sort of alignment here. Okay, now we are sort of doubting a lot of aspects within self. And I feel like this is really due to experiences of the past that left us feeling without. And once we feel without, it burns, it burns a hole sort of in place. It creates scars in places that we can't easily do anything with that energy. We feel damaged, or we feel like we can't be put back together. Okay, this is how we feel. It's not necessarily truth. It's an experience. It's a true experience of feeling, and it's left a true imprint and a mark. And now I feel we're being offered with some great abundance and blessing that is offering us, I think, everything that we could have possibly have wanted to experience. It comes with liberating this aspect of ourself that has been pained, for quite some time or without. And we might have made do. We might have even made excuses or supported this version of us and been comfortable with this version of us. But I'm telling you that this version of you was neglecting another aspect of yourself. And this aspect of self is crying to be experienced, whatever this experience opportunity is for you. And like I said, for some of you guys, it definitely could be a relationship. But what it is connecting to your greatest love. Okay, greatest love here. And it's like a great purpose aligned with my heart's contentment would require me to do something. And the something that you're being called to do is the thing that we have doubt. And we only have doubt because we're in this 3D world. And the doubt is creating all sorts of doubt when it comes to making decisions and committing and being confident and securing and being aiming and being direct and accepting. It's like it's waffling, it's uncertain, it's not sure, it's cloudy, it keeps things vague. That's the sort of energy that you've been in, and we might have used this sort of as a way to not be disappointed. If I keep things vague, I'm not disappointed. If I don't commit, there is no downfall. If I sort of live in this way, I know what to expect, and knowing what to expect sometimes keeps me safe. But it's still disappointing. It's still a downfall. It's still gray and drab and unfulfilling. And so no matter, we might have the reins, so to speak, or the illusion of having control or the reins. It's like handicapping us from being able to develop something, birth something that's grand and great. And you're being offered something grand and great. And the irony here, though, that Spirit is talking about is what's actually required of you is just consistent effort. And it's just you showing up in the practical world, giving, committing, day in, day out. There's nothing except for showing up in your truest version of you. That's all it's required. But it's like, I don't even know if I want to show up as the version of me, because then I'm exposed, or then I'm seen, or then I'm like admitting or committing or connecting. And then once I do that, it's like, what if it gets taken away? What if it falls apart? What if? And now we're back into that whole mind thing again. So I feel like your energy is wanting an answer. And this is why your energy is all sort of out of whack, is like, I want an answer, I want to be confident, and I want to commit. And of course, given the choice, anyone would choose happiness and abundance. So it's like, why do I have this happiness and abundance coming towards me, but I'm still in this energy? It's because we're not seeing the happiness and abundance as something here that's actually truthfully seeing it for what it stands for. We're seeing the truth of that abundance as it coming with a reflection of our inability, or our faults, or our shortcomings, and it's really not our shortcoming, but it's mirroring a shortcoming of us. And really all that spirit is talking about is it's bringing stuff from the subconscious that's actually not true. And so emotionally is like very heavily charged part of myself here that believes some version of me based on an experience that has scarred me, or that has made me understand something about myself that might be inaccurate. And I've carried that and believed that. And I was making decisions based on this. And now here's an opportunity that's very real. And now I'm being push-pull. There's a push-pull here because I'm pulled towards it. I know that it feels like abundance, liberation, freedom, bright sunny day, and all of this stuff. But at the same time comes all this other stuff with it. Why is it attached? Why does one equate to the other? Why is because we're still undoing the belief. We're still seeing through the illusion of the experience as being reflecting who we are, which is untrue. The past experience isn't who we are. The version of you of who you are is a beautiful being that's ready to be seen and loved for who you are. You just have to show up in this beautiful right here, right now energy. But we're still attached to the experience of the past. And so we're infusing it in this present moment. And so we cannot peg ourselves to this beautiful opportunity without bringing in this, this baggage of the past. I feel like you're totally being showered with love and appreciation here, but I feel like this is going to require you really being comfortable in both your energies, masculine and feminine energy. And I feel like you're more dominant in one. And I do feel like you might be more dominant in your masculine energy, and it could be, or a distorted feminine energy here, whichever way you slice and dice it. It's like a need to have balanced, healthy, masculine and feminine, an ability to know when I'm able to be open to receive blessings and be able to give love and receive love. Okay, by being authentic and expressing out my feels and being able to be vulnerable and be able to acknowledge and see this. But I can't see the truths of who I am and what I'm expected to sort of do when the fear is louder, when the version of me that's actually not even me, but that I believe is me because of an experience that I had, comes to the surface. It wants to take the reins. It wants to be triggered, or it feels freaked out, or it feels like it starts making all these reasons why it cannot, why it cannot be exposed, or it freezes up. It wants to run and hide. It wants to not be seen potentially. It's maybe wants to play small, or box out, or shut out, or resist, or it's like, no, the open energy needs to flow. There's something about opening. And even I'm getting another message here for some of you guys. If you guys are able to sleep with your windows open, okay, do this for, I don't know, the next 3 days. There's something about letting energy flow. Okay. And this could be opening your doors and your windows to the house for, an hour or whatever. Allow the energy to flow through stale energies. Even change your furniture around. I'm getting here. Something about energy needing to flow. But now back to the spiritual side. I feel like there is a need to be okay with giving and receiving of energy without trying to control, stunt it, or block it. This would require us being vulnerable. Okay? And we might feel very much out of our element. But I feel like Spirit is saying this is birthing something that's absolutely amazing for you. that's going to shower you with abundance, appreciation, and everything you're sort of wanting, everything that you deserve. It's being birthed here. And all that's really required, it sounds very simple, but it's difficult, is your animal nature. Because the animal nature, like we talked about, isn't trying to manipulate or control with the mind. The animal acts instinctually. If it feels a certain thing or needs to do a certain thing, it does it. I feel like this is what's required. Okay, you to be in a natural state. But now we might think your natural state is this fear because we've been carrying the fear, or we've been carrying that version of us. The subconscious version of us that responds in a certain way is very reactionary, it's defensive, it shuts down. It's like, well, I am acting in my natural way. It's like, no, you're acting out of the trauma or the experience in order to protect self. And so how do we know this difference? We have to become very intimate with ourselves and understand. Okay, and I feel like Spirit is really talking about you being liberated from this understanding of the version of you that isn't you, that's been concocted or created to protect yourself from being vulnerable in relationship. Okay, again, any relationship really. Okay, and trusting in your own animal instinct. You are the answer. You being who you are, being seen as you are, is enough. And once you do this, we sort of build that backbone and that confidence. Okay, it comes over time, and then we start to sort of harvest the abundance. I feel like there's either you've been at it for some time and we're not quite there yet. Okay, and maybe we're wondering, like, when will it be a thing? When will the other shoe drop? Or we're still really held back and reserved here. And Spirit is saying we must be at it. It's not going to be a one and done. It's a consistent, is sort of fake it till you make it energy, and we might feel very out of our element at first. It's like, well, I don't want to be fake, or I, pride myself on being authentic and all of this stuff. But it's like, no, we're not actually authentic. We're actually acting out of fear. We're actually reacting from a past experience. And this is what's creating these ways of being that's not really authentic. That's not really truly us. And because how we truly want to be is obviously love. We would choose this. We would choose love. And to choose love means to be vulnerable. So we can't say I am authentic, but I can't be vulnerable. Well, then we're not choosing love, or we're choosing the fear. And so to make this choice is to say, I am letting go of fear of being vulnerable, fear of needing control, fear of maybe looking foolish or being rejected or not knowing what to say or what to do, because it will come to me. And I trust this. Because this opportunity that I feel is in front of you is giving you an opportunity to experience true abundance, liberation, freedom from pains of the past. And I feel like there's a lot of shadow here that's being integrated, okay, through your conscious effort of paying close attention to how you respond and engage. When we're shutting something out or responding in a triggered way or not, or withholding, are we consciously aware that we're doing it? Okay, now this doesn't mean beating ourselves up. This doesn't mean forcing us to be different. This means I'm aware. I'm conscious that I'm boxing someone out, or that I'm holding back, or that I'm withholding because there is something here that I'm still working through or needing to understand or see. That's fine. But then as long as we continuously are aware of this thing, and we're not projecting out there that it's because of this or because of that I cannot. It's like, no. You already can be vulnerable. You already can attain the thing. You are already it. You are the answer. It's already resolved for you. There is no resolution you need to come up with. Okay, and I think this is where we're sort of distorted, but it does take a process to get to that acceptance. Okay, that version of you that is confident, that can flow with the energy, giving and receiving in a state here that is absolutely abundant, already exists. What is getting in the way is the version of us that we created to protect this part of us so we don't experience the travesty, the disappointment, and whatever it was that we experienced, the rejection, the disappointments, the heartbreak, the suffering. Okay, and so your situation is an easy green answer. Okay, green, love. Love is the answer. Follow the heart. Easier said than done. Everything else is sort of the baggage. Okay, and the baggage doesn't need to be there. Spirit is saying you're being freed from this baggage. step by step by step, when you're conscious and when you keep making decisions of the heart, you're healing your heart and you're aligning with spirit, and you are connecting to a greater understanding of truth here. Okay. And the truth is your highest self. The high self has no scars. It has no traumas and shadows. The high self is the ascended version that's pure light being. It's already done all this shadow work and it's had many lifetimes. The high self is the highest potential version of you. This is where you're getting your downloads and your information and your guidance, because it knows of a better option for you. It doesn't play around in like the drama world of the 3D, of all of this baggage stuff. But when we're in the 3D and we're having to go through these experiences and these lessons and transmute a lot of this and work through a lot of this stuff. Okay, now when I say work, there's nothing really to work because it's all an illusion. The experience we had is no longer here. It's an experience of the past that is long gone now. Although it left its imprint, but it left its imprint where? In our stories of the mind and our beliefs, which we can't touch. Okay, you can't touch a belief. It just gets undone. Once we undo it, we got to get to the root. The root of this story that we tell ourselves is actually not true. And when we unpin that story, then we're sort of free to create new beliefs. A truth of me being confident, a truth that I am worthy and deserving, and that this experience is actually not fearful or frightening or threatening in any way. And I think we know this. There is no threat here. This is true abundance being gifted to you, and it feels like a true blessing here. It's overwhelming. It's almost like drinking out of a fire hose when we've been living depleted for so long, and really it's just seeing your great beauty here, truly as you are. And I think this is the most beautiful thing, because we don't have to be anyone that we're not. It's like I'm myself and I'm truly seen and I'm loved for this. How vulnerable is this, being truly seen for who we are? It's like there's nowhere to hide. There's no safety blanket or safety net. It's like there's no wall to hide behind. I am the answer. Yes, your true energy is the answer here to this conundrum that you're in, or this two swords. Okay, so let's pull the tarot, because this reading is getting very long. Okay, but I feel you're amidst this transformation. I feel you feel very strange, going outside your comfort zone. I feel something is brewing here, a new version of you that's free from shadow and from fear and lack of confidence, because I feel there's a need to hold the reins, or you feel like you need to control how this goes so you could control disappointment. There is no controlling disappointment. Okay? There is no controlling disappointment. The universe is going to unfold. And so the best thing we could do is just be authentic and experience whatever in the present moment as our truest version, not as our wounded version. Okay, so for pile number 2, spirits, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Can we dive into this messaging in regards to why is pile 2's energy all wackadoodle? What do they need to know about their energy? Am I missing something here? And what do they need to know, pile number 2, regarding our energy? Yeah, look, 3 swords in reverse. Strength, so confidence, 3 swords. That's that experience we had in the past, left us heartbroken or left us feeling some sort of separation or abandonment. Okay, Ace of Cups in reverse. It's a need for self-love, self-acceptance, self-worth, Devil in reverse. Okay, so things that we're bound to, shadows, beliefs, destructive habits and patterns and ways of thinking that keep us chained to destructive things. 8 swords, limiting beliefs in reverse, and the High Priestess, which is this purple energy. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Swords. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. Under that, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. Okay, so we have Capricorn energy, which is feeling very strongly here in the energy with the devilly sort of beliefs. Okay, and then we have Strength, which is Leo. And then we have High Priestess, which is Pisces. Okay, gorgeous angel. This is really supporting what we read here. Okay, Spirit is guiding you through this thing that feels very uncomfortable for you. You're freeing yourself of limiting thoughts. The only restriction you have is created within you. Someone has told you something, an experience has shown you something, and we created a belief that's in our mind, a story of what we tell ourselves, of who we are and what we're capable of doing and not capable of doing. All of this is rubbish. There is no limit. The universe is ever abundant. The only limits you have are the ones you create for self. Okay? There's a need for you to experience certain things again so you can get your mojo back and your confidence in self. But in order to do this, we obviously have to have a little bit of courage, you know? We take little steps, and little steps and little steps become big steps and big steps, and they become the version of who we want to be, okay, over a period of time. Although the version of you that is the truest version of you already exists. There is no need to even go bit by bit. But like I said, there might be like drinking out of a fire hose, you know, and it's like, wow, if we're like kind of not seen, and all of a sudden it's boop, here I am, you know, full in my abundance. It might be this simple, you know, but this could be very scary for us to be seen and exposed as like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, let me go bit by bit by bit. And we could use this as a thing, as a protective way. Okay. I don't know which is the right answer here, but I feel like the truth is you're this. So why would we cut corners, you know? But I feel like with the card here of practicality and this sort of like cultivating, I feel like every opportunity you get to be like this, push yourself as much as you can to be like yourself. Now, we don't need to push to be our authentic self, obviously, because our authentic self doesn't require any sort of lifting, pushing, resisting, or coercing. You know, it's natural. Okay, but this is where the big but comes. It can't be natural when there's something stuffing it down, when there's some chatter voice saying you cannot or this or that. It's the inner critic that's running the narrative or the show. And then we believe it. And then it's like, whoa, well, what's my authentic self? I really feel shy, or I really feel closed off, or I really feel like I can't be vulnerable. I really can't share. I really, no, those are limiting thoughts. The truest version of self has no restriction. There is no restriction. It's seen, beautiful. It exposes itself. It could be vulnerable. It could make a fool of itself. It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter because it's like, I wouldn't have a reaction to the response. I wouldn't feel rejected. I wouldn't feel let down. I wouldn't feel all of these things because I know that I'm just in line with my truest version of self. And when I'm in line with true version of self, there is no disappointment. Okay, now we're human and things could go off. Things could go not aligned, but it doesn't tear me apart. It doesn't pull me into the devastation of what I've experienced in the past, because once I see through this shadow, once I see the truest version of me and connect to my confidence of the truest version of who I am, the truth, I can no longer be fooled by this devil. The devil right now is showing up, and I think you're freeing yourself of the devil. It comes through and it creeps through as certain voices in your mind or beliefs in your mind telling you what you can and cannot do. And it keeps you frozen from making decisions that are aligned for your highest good, that are going to make you very happy and whole and complete and content. It's keeping you in lack. And the reason being is because I've experienced suffering. I remember when I was hurt. I remember the heartbreak. I remember the disappointment. I remember all these things. And so it's true for me. It's like, yes, you had an experience like this. But there's so many different experiences, and we've never had this experience that we're having right here, right now, in this present moment. It has nothing to do with the past. The past is gone. It is an experience of that time. Okay, and so now there's a need for us to be confident in facing this present moment with the truest version of who we are, without limitation. Okay, and over time, our own self-love, our own seeing our beauty will come, because I feel like right now we're not connected to our self-worth. We're not being able to fill our own cup from a place of confidence. And we're sort of keeping ourselves small by the self-talk and saying, I'm not good enough, or like, I'm not deserving of this thing. Even if we're not saying it out loud, by our action of rejecting or pushing it out or blocking it out, our energy is saying, I'm not ready to deserve this thing. But yet we might consciously know, it's like, of course I want abundance and love, of course. But it's like, okay, what's our action doing then? Our action is pushing it away. Our action is actually resisting it, because underneath in the subconscious, we don't truly believe it. There's another belief going on that I'm not worthy, that I'm not deserving, or that it's going to hurt me, or that I got to be a certain way that I'm not. It's like, no, untruths doesn't require you to be something you're not. Love requires you to be your most raw animal instinct sort of way, instinctual way. It requires you to be expressing your truest version, being seen as the truth. That's all it requires you to do. But this takes true confidence, okay? Because if I'm myself and seen as myself, it's like, and I'm not approved or accepted, we might think, wow, like it's going to hit me twice as hard, when I'm myself and I'm rejected. Right now, it's like I kind of manipulate energies. But the thing is, we still want to be approved. We still are trying to manufacture this acceptance. It's like, no, I'm just going to be who I am here, and the acceptance will come. And that's the thing, is like when we are truly authentically us in the confidence, it's like all the things that are aligned with us come to us. There is no more rejection, because the people that are drawn are like, yes, I see who you are. There is no smoke and mirrors. And so when we're sort of in smoke and mirrors trying to adapt and play the game, it's like people are coming and going, not sure who we are, because one moment we're like this, the other we're like that. We're trying to accommodate and be who we're not. There is no being who we're not. And who you're not is someone who's closed off. Yes, you had an experience of pain. Yes, you had an experience here that might have been very heartbreaking. And yes, however long it takes for you to work through this thing, but it's not who you are. Who you are was previous to this thing that's happened to you. This is who's still here. We need to just connect to it and not identify as the experience of this past. Okay, so I feel like you're being opened up really with this high priestess. It's coming through very strongly here. You're being guided intuitively to walk down this path of trust, trusting the intuition, because you'll feel in a heart level what's right for you. This is where you're being divinely guided. Your intuition is guiding you. You're spiritually being guided. Your higher self is calling to you. Okay. And it is really trying to resolve this lack of self-worth or self-confidence, or an ability to experience love in its fullest abundance. You're being asked to confront it with courage, with honesty and truth, and to take action. And instinctually, this isn't about thinking about it, humming and hawing about it. This is like take action. Even if it's raw action that might be, something that's impulsive. It's like, it's okay. Because I feel like there's something about being in this impulsive energy that's more authentic and true to you, that's going to get you results, that will build up your confidence in taking action, rather than second guessing and contemplating and doing what we always do. Because this creates stall out and doubt and indecision. I'm surprised we're not seeing two swords. Yeah, and we're not going after what it is that we're really wanting to. It's like, go after what we want to, confront it, So, pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much, and I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye. Pile number 3, gorgeous angels. You guys picked the elephant here. And we're taking a look at what is going on with your wackadoodle energy. Okay, so it's a deep dive into your energy and seeing what Spirit wants to communicate to you about why is your energy doing what it's doing. Okay, so this isn't going to be for everyone. Obviously, if your energy is perfectly tickety-boo, then this reading probably isn't for you. But if you clicked on here, there's probably a message. Okay, and so the best way to know whether this pile resonates is to sit through this card layout and come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is the right pile for you. Okay, if you are in tune with your intuition, you can go straight away to the channeled message. Okay, so I'll be laying these out. I haven't looked at this, and I asked Spirit specifically for pile 3, what's going on with their Wack energy? Can we take a look at their energy in depth? What are they needing to know about what's going on with their energy? And this is what we got. Okay, so we have the square, and it says contradiction. Okay, so the planetary energies conflict. Internal and creative tensions bring rich rewards through effort over time. So it's kind of giving me like a Saturn energy. Okay, the square is a challenging aspect. These placements force us to deal with uncomfortable issues to overcome them. Every challenge helps us grow. Yeah. Okay. And then we have letting go. Everything is indeed out of control, and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. That's a scary thought for the ego, because the ego thinks it has control, even a little bit. It's like, no, it thinks it's the doer, and that's what drives the action. It still believes that it could do something. There is nothing to do. Okay, God has control. There is no control, and it is safe to let go and to trust. This is true devotion, true faith, and belief in something greater, like the divine, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, God. Okay, we'll call it God because this is my channel. So 26 with rejoicing. You have learned how to make the most of life. Channel 8. I was going to say number 8. I called it channel. So rejoicing. So 8 is a number of strength. Is a number of movement, change, attainment. Okay, 8 is about authority, manifestation, so leadership and abundance and goals. Okay, so I'm getting some Leo and some Aquarius. We have the beginning with this tree. And we have lime with gratitude. So the trigger statement says, I am overwhelmed. The true statement says, I am moving. The time for planning is complete. Take action, no matter how small. Begin today. Interesting. We were getting 8, which is movement. And this is talking about movement. I am moving. Okay, but this, no matter how small, this energy sort of came through in pile 2. Some of you guys might have been called to 2. Okay, if you are, then take this as a sign that this is most likely your reading. Okay, I don't know if 2 is so much, but take that as confirmation if you're kind of humming and hawing between this 1 and 2. This confirmation for someone who isn't sure if this is their pile, but I feel like there was an energy of taking a small action to cultivate something over time. Okay, this is coming through with this card. This is gratitude. Moonlight Serenade. Change your tune. All right. And we have passion. And we have the orange ray, which is the sacral chakra. So the sacral is our creative energy. Your sexual energy is come from the sacral chakra. Okay, where we get inspiration. This talks about passion. I'm getting wands energy. And we have the raven's head, 47. Card number 11 as well, or number 11. So 11 is divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. This raven's head can talk about being on sort of this mission, once you see, you can't unsee, and it's like you're being called, no matter how difficult, to go through some sort of process. Yeah, okay, sublimation. So look at the ascension here. Okay, it's kind of a process of transcendence. Only the pure sort of gets left behind here. Okay, so what is this, 67? 47, 67 could be significant numbers here. No, not 60. Yeah, 67, sorry. So that's number 15, which is devil. So Capricorn energy. Yeah. Is it? No, 13. 13 is death. Scorpio energy. Sorry. Yeah. And then we have 31 with the heart. Wow. Beautiful. And we see a nest here. Nest could talk about home, security, safety. Okay, all the green I was feeling here is heart for sure, heart chakra. We have pink, which is self-love. Purple, which is spiritual. Lots of purples, blues, pinks. Okay. Wow, lots of the chakra colors coming in, even the red and the sacral. So we're missing the yellow here, which is the solar plexus. Okay, so that could be the confidence here or the willpower or something. So what do we have? We have this oracle card, and it looks like it goes this way. Yeah, little fish sort of swimming by the coral reef. Goldfish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fish. So fish can talk about abundance. They could talk about plunging our emotions. They talk about sort of maybe being even aimless in the shadow, not being direct in some way. Maybe it's talking about community or something like this with all these fish. Okay, and then we have express. So express would be about communicating or allowing ourselves to be seen or understood by way of true expression. We're seeing the x-ray, so seeing through this person, their true intention here. Okay, and then we see this shipwreck. It's like going through this turbulent sea, this ship. So it's kind of giving me a 6 swords energy, except very turbulent. Here we see stormy clouds. We see a smoke plume here. Wow, almost like something detonated and went off. Some sort of bomb just went off here. Wow. Okay. And then we have inheritance. And this is, what's this sign? It is Saturn in Scorpio with inheritance. Number 8 again. And so we're getting 8 here. Okay. And we have Dancer of Joy. Wow, beautiful. And we have take a moment, stop. Now is not the time to rush into the decision you're about to make. Before this important decision is made, take a moment to pause and quiet your mind so that you can ask your soul for guidance before you act or move forward. Interesting, because here was talking about taking action. Which one was it? The time for planning is complete. Take action now, no matter how small. Begin today. Take a moment. So I feel like there's a big decision coming about that we've been planning and preparing. I do feel as though now's the time to make some sort of action, but let's see. A Fearful World, 69. Okay, so this could be, projections of devilly things out there or fearful things. Let's see, a bunch of wolves or scary animals. So the witch, experimentation and rebellion. Okay. And we see sun and moon. Wow, masculine, feminine energy here. Sun and moon. Could be about, balancing our masculine and our feminine. Our emotions, okay, and how we sort of take action here with the sun. This could be about, again, expressing self, outward energy, whereas the moon's more inward, receptive, reflective. Key, the hidden secrets discovery. Keys are all about knowledge, information, and the keys open up new possibilities and doors. Okay, so let me sit with this energy before we pull on the tarot and see what I can channel from this before we begin. And you can click on the timestamp to get you straight away to your channeled message. Okay, pile number 3. You're the only pile here where I still have questions, We'll see as I unpack this thing. Now, like I always mention, this could be your energy around you. Doesn't have to be yours. It could be someone you're dealing with, okay? Only take the messages that resonate for you. This energy is talking about a challenge here that is very difficult. And it could be in really changing how it is that it might have really been integrated in a belief of our ability to maybe get things done, do things, okay? I'm missing the solar plexus energy from this energy that I'm feeling here, okay? Which to me is being channeled as, I think we might have really relied on solar plexus, which is my will, my way. What I say I sort of can do, and I'm confident in my ability to be a doer and to maintain and manifest and control and create. And that energy could be okay. It could be okay, because what could be worse is feeling a lack of confidence and depressed and like we have no agency, and that's not a good feeling. However, the challenge, the dark side of solar plexus, which I talk about here, is the fact that we still believe in an untruth. Okay, and it's okay for people to believe in an untruth if it makes them feel okay and at peace. But this untruth is being undone. And what's this untruth? That you have any control at all. There is no control. Okay, yes, we can make decisions, but the universe has the wheel. And this is evident when we experience things such as deaths and divorce and, like devastating things and, and blessings that just happen and things we can't explain. The universe always has the wheel. And when we're really attached to the identity of the ego, that we have some sort of control, we start to create suffering in our world because we really believe that us, the little I, has as much power as the universe. No. Okay, yes, we're extension of the creator and we can manifest. Okay, but certain things are completely out of our hands. And I feel like this experience that's leaving you all wackadoodle in your energy is an experience of opposition and resistance and challenge. And it's like nothing you can do is going to coerce it, sweet talk it, or manipulate it to go in a certain way. Why? Because the universe has the wheel and you're learning to let go. The letting go process requires surrender. And when we surrender, it takes humility and it takes great growth, and it takes an ascended person to understand the value in letting go and surrendering for the greater good. And they can hold the sort of greater concept of things flowing and being developed for the greatest good with their trust in the divine. Meaning, I don't have to create the great good. I put my faith and my trust in the divine because I know that the greater good will unfold in front of me. I do not need to manipulate the energy. Okay, this takes a lot of undoing beliefs, especially when we're heavy in that energy. And so I feel like your energy, or this energy I'm reading, is definitely somebody who is very much trusting themselves and little trust in, other people or things to sort of align for them. And so they have a very difficult time sort of letting things be. And so when we're in this energy, we can't be enjoying the moment. We can't be sort of going with the flow and flow state. We can't be just sort of comfortable with where the universe wants to take us. And so I feel like the universe is saying, I'm taking you somewhere, whether you like it or not. And that challenges our ego. And at first sort of reflection, we resist, we fight, we try to make it not so. We try to overpower it. We try to control the situation. We try to bargain with it. Okay, I don't know what the 12 steps of healing are or whatever the addictions program, but there's like, the 12 steps of realization here. It's like, I try to bargain. I try to negotiate. I try to fight it. I try to do all these things until all that we're left with is truly surrender. Why? Because surrendering is what the universe wants you to do in this process in order to get you to where you're supposed to go. This whole process is a process of ascension, is burning away. Okay, when I say burn away, it's like the transmutation of energy that no longer is serving you, because we don't need to be a doer. We don't need to have beliefs that we're a separate I. When we transmute that, it's like we become more conscious. We become more enlightened. We become more one with others. Okay. And we see through illusions such as separation. And so this energy is all about changing our perception. I am me and out there is separate. I have control in my world of doing certain things because we project, okay, with the veil, we project an outer world. There is no outer and inner world. There is just one sort of source manifesting in creation, where our body is the manifestation. Okay. And so we're not separate from anything. And I feel like there is this need to shift how it is that we've been living and how our beliefs and our engagement of how we've been seeing things. So I feel like I'm already telling you something you might already have been experiencing and knowing, because I do feel like this new beginning is sort of now experiencing, what it's sort of for, where this was leading you towards, because I feel like it was very difficult to let go and to surrender and to trust. And we might still be sort of still ironing this out, still kind of going back and forth on it, but I feel like we have been processing letting go. And I feel like this process has been so that we can gain a deeper sort of connection to ourselves and to the divine, which allows for more self-love, allows us to feel more safe and secure, ironically, because now it's like I feel more safe in my energy because I no longer have to attach, fight for, attain, protect myself, and I'm doing it. It's exhausting. I can't sleep on myself. I don't have all this anxiety that I might be missing something or doing something, and the pressure of this. When I give it to the divine, I feel so safe and secure. I know the divine has my back, that everything's happening for my highest, that I'm protected, that I have love here for me and the divine. It's like a pure place of love that we're doing this. When we get to this state, it's like we've truly surrendered here. But I feel like, wow, oh, look what we've gone through here. Or what have we gone through? Emotions beyond control, turbulent as fuck, okay, and the big explosions here, which is the aftermath of what? I can't breathe, I can't see, I can't stay in this environment. It feels very heavy, toxic. It's like the aftermath of a big blow up. And so these environments have been very toxic or very traumatic, very intense for a reason. Okay, and so we've been having to navigate our emotions. I feel like maybe if we were doing whatever we were doing to sort of fit in, to sort of belong, or to go with the flow, or to make things easier, or to be able to, like navigate in a way that is expected, that I feel is right, because look at other people doing this, and when I see other people doing it and it works, I start to believe it, and then I become it, and then I think this is the way that it is, and then we're all unified doing the exact same thing, just a bunch of sheep in a row. Meanwhile, no, there is independence and freedom here in being our own energy that's not autonomous, or autonomous is not robotic, that is autonomous, but only when we truly surrender to the divine can we experience that uniqueness. Okay, the uniqueness within you is there. And the uniqueness, I feel, has to be connected to by being pure and authentic. And that comes with letting go and surrendering. Otherwise, we're still manipulating to be like everyone else. That takes work. When we're coercing energy so that we could form like everyone else, so we could flow like everyone else, so we can check box like everyone else, or do the thing that everyone else does because it works in society. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with this sort of a thing. But as long as we're awakened to the fact that, do I want to follow the other fish or the other sheep or do what everyone else is doing? No. Do I want to be awake and conscious and know that the choice is mine and that I'm autonomous? Sure. Well, then this requires you letting go, maybe even going against the grain, maybe even people disagreeing with you, maybe even looking foolish to everyone else because it's like, look, we're all going over here. What are you doing? It's like, whoa, I'm making this big mess, big mess. And what's the big mess? I don't know. Turning my world upside down. My stability might have been turned upside down. My version of how I used to be might be completely different. And people are like, what happened to you? Maybe you were corporate. Maybe you were going, I don't know. And all of a sudden you're like in the van down by the river singing Kumbaya, and totally quit your corporate job. It's a complete sort of turn here that maybe others won't understand. Maybe you're going on some sort of, what is it, like becoming a Buddha or a monastery, or I don't know, something that might be unconventional. But it's like, it's like, I don't know that this for sure is like why I'm being called or pulled, but I know that there is like this having to sort of be true to my calling, no matter how difficult it might mean, because to commit myself to becoming this thing, is like going to take some commitment and some dedication and some acceptance of letting go of what I'm not, which is uncomfortable. especially if we hung on to it as sort of the comfort, And so this new beginning, because I feel this is sort of where we're at, okay? Or at least we're entering this part, or maybe we've already been here for a little bit. It's like we're finally seeing the joy of this. We're finally like we've surrendered or we've processed the letting go enough for us to get this breath of like, whoa, like I feel light. I feel like I can see, I can finally see this version of me that's expressing this self that wasn't seen before. And this self that's being sort of expressed is something here that's new to me. And so there's so much to explore. And so Spirit is saying, like, we're exploring, okay, and we're doing things that might be not expected of us. So some might see it as rebellion. Some might see it as like, you doing whatever you're doing here. But I feel like there is a rebellion, but it's a rebellion to be like everyone else, a rebellion to just sort of be easy for the sake of being easy. But it really wasn't easy because there was a lot of having to manipulate energy and manufacture certain outcome. Here is like, I put all of my trust in the divine and I feel safe and I flow wherever the universe takes me, which might sound like, oh, easy street, but it's not. This isn't easy street. This is a true devotion and dedication to the divine to be able to express the authentic part of self. Now we're seeing inheritance here because I do feel like there's something coming to you as a sort of a, I don't know if you want to call it a reward or as this like the pot at the end of the rainbow, Now you're not coming to the end of anything because the journey is never really end. But I feel like there's something here about, getting to this place of receiving. Okay. And maybe the receiving here is like finally being able to see the truest version of us, finally feeling what it's like to be this balanced masculine, feminine energy, to be able to master emotions in a way here, to not be led by your emotions or fears in a way that, is like, takes the wheel. It's like, now I could see clearly my emotions. I could see clearly because I'm conscious of my actions and my words. And so let's take a moment. I feel is the space that you've created between your responses and your reactions and your actions and this newest conscious version of you. You've created enough space here for you to see before you act, for you to be very conscious. Is what I'm about to do or say for the highest good? Is it aligned with my authenticity? Or is this still my pain body? Is this still ego? Is this still something that's coming through me that's not pure and true? And when we can create that space and we get in front of it, our life becomes beautiful because I'm no longer pulled by ego. I'm no longer pulled by the drama or the trauma or the shadowy side that must respond or react in a certain way. Because then that means we're led by what? Not the true version of us. We're led by our trauma. We're led by our fear. We're led by this reactionary thing within us. I think you've healed this thing. I think you are healing this thing. Okay. And I feel like there is something here that's not being really shown to us with this key, hidden secrets, discovery, and this inheritance that's going to be gifted. It's going to be understood or seen by you specifically. And I think it's very specific to you. So maybe this is why it's not showing. I don't know. We're still going to do the tarot because it's very unique again to you. But I do feel it's something, I feel it's something very unique to you that's going to be shown to you, understood by you. And I feel like where there was a lot of fear, okay, like fear is in anxieties or doubts and trusting that things would be accomplished or people, or would things go the way I want, or would outcomes end up okay? And all of this nine swords type energy is actually being resolved. And how you're resolving it is by getting ahead of it. There is no heavy anxieties here. This feels really like reaching a state of enlightenment where I could be at peace, where I never have to feel this anxiety because I know I'm safe and protected. I know when I'm guided by the heart here, when I trust the divine and I'm devoted to the divine to say, I trust and I surrender, that all is well. Like, wow, what a relief. And I feel like you could connect to this, what a relief, always. But we had to go through this. And this is the opposite. This is not a relief. This is like my whole world's exploding, imploding, upside down. I don't know if it's up or down. And it's happening to me in this way. And I'm totally like, And so your energy might have been like this, or maybe this is why you're here, is like, I'm all upside down, I'm all chaotic, I'm all don't know up from down. Okay, I think this is like where we've been moving out of, because over here, it's like, wow, now I see why I must have experienced this. I was in a state of sort of zombieing or following the crowd or doing what everyone else was sort of doing, playing it safe and thinking I was the doer, the little I, to this sort of experience that I had with this raven's head that just sort of blew up my world, made me feel unstable, made me feel like I couldn't hang on to anything. I had no agency or no control because I thought I had control, but no, not over this. And so this whole thing sort of imploded in my face. But now, what a blessing. Now it's like, I'm so grateful that it's happened this way. So there's a level of gratitude around this chaotic experience because I think it changed your tune. It changed who you are fundamentally. It changed this anxiety or this energy that you might have perceived the world as one way that it wasn't. You know, it's more balanced in your emotions here. And I feel like, I don't know what's shown to you here. There's passion. And so it's like you're being reborn with this beginning and this passion, because now it's like when you reach a certain state, you drop what's heavy. And what was heavy was controlling and like all of these things we felt we had to do. It was taking up space. It was taking up energy. And we let it go. We now create all of this space. And it's like, wow, bestow me now. I have all of this space. My hands are open to receive. Well, what are we receiving? I don't know. I'm going to create something here. It's going to fire me up. It's something I'm passionate about. Maybe I'm going to be of service. Maybe I'm going to go, like actually have time to do the thing that I'm passionate about, because I'm no longer invested in wasting my time or trying to, again, control outcome or follow up with things and do certain things that was just sort of taking up space. Okay, I feel like you're free and liberated from anxieties and stress and a need for control. So let's see, spirits. Yeah, even this rejoicing, we have dancer of joy. There's like a lot of celebration here in overcoming something and getting through the other side here, like rising above, seeing what it's for. Okay, rising above this sort of more mundane energy of need for control and that sort of thing. Spirit, what am I missing? Pile number 3, their energy here. Why is it all whack? What do they need to know about their energy? A deeper dive to pile 3's energy. What do they need to know? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. What is going on with pile 3's energy? What more do we need to know? What am I missing? What does pile 3 need to know to give them peace of mind regarding their energy at this time, Spirit? Thank you so much. Knight of Pentacles. It's slow and it's steady, but it's 3D, okay, with this Knight of Pentacles. It could be very annoying too, because it's super, super slow, stuck at times. Ace of Swords in reverse. So we weren't seeing some great truth, or some authenticity wasn't in line here. Okay, it wasn't in line when we were sort of like all this. It's like I'm not another goldfish, I'm something else. But when I think I'm another goldfish, I'm not in line with truth. And so my actions aren't in line with truth, because the Sword in reverse is not seeing something clearly. Okay, the 3 of Cups. So 3 Cups talks about celebrations. You could talk about our social network. Again, there's this rejoicing, and then there's the dancer of joy, 3 Cups. Okay, so community, celebration, 2 Wands. 2 Wands is about choices. Yeah, it's choices. It's like we did the groundwork here in order to be able to pull the trigger. 10 Wands in reverse. What did I say about this letting go and surrendering? The 10 of Wands in reverse is like surrender, like I can't no more. And the universe makes it difficult for us to have to get to a point of surrender. Otherwise, we don't hit 10 Wands. If you don't hit 10 Wands, you're never going to hit a 10 Wands in reverse. You have to hit your 10 Wands, which is, I can't no more. I can't no more with this. So the universe gave you what you can't no more. Okay. And obviously the universe only gives you what you can't handle, but it's like giving you enough for you to surrender. It's like this for design. In order for you to surrender, you don't need to carry the burden. What's for you does not weigh a thing. What's for you is not heavy. It comes easy. It should flow. All you need to be able to do is make decisions. That's the conscious will and free choice. Is like when I have a decision in front of me, am I asleep to it? Am I just going with the flow and keep choosing? Like I think I'm making decisions, but really I'm just making choices, but I'm still not fully aware of the choice I'm making because I'm sort of in the flow of it, but in the flow of the sleep mode. I need to be in the flow with the universe, which is I'm conscious when I make the decision, when I make the choice. It's like I'm very aware, I'm very present, I'm very conscious of the wand I'm choosing in every moment because I'm surrendered here. And the universe is going to put choices in front of you, always. Okay. And there's always a choice to either stay small or stay asleep or ignore, or a choice to be conscious, to choose maybe to push us outside of our comfort zone, to make change. But the choice is always in front of us. Okay. So now we have 5 pentacles in reverse. Yeah. Out of the lack mindset, out of the cold, out of this sort of energy of doership and feeling like, like we're at the mercy of being left out and separation, and like it doesn't exist. You're coming out of this lack mindset. Okay, death, yeah, transformation, spiritual transformation, massive transformation, release of what no longer works. Okay, and then we have 8 pentacles in reverse. And what's under this Knight of Pentacles? The Magician, Virgo, Gemini energy. Okay, and Scorpio, let me tap into what's going on here. Okay, gorgeous angel. And your reading is very clear to me now. This tarot reading sort of confirmed the energy. When I opened your reading, I was like, I was a little hesitant, but it's all very, very clear and it's exactly as channeled. Okay. You are going through energy here that doesn't feel good at all. And at times, like not feeling good is an understatement. This is really fucked up. I feel bad for you if you're in the midst of this thing. Okay. And one's water and one's sort of a plume of dust. And so even mixing these two is like you get mud and muck, and it's just like, which is the worst? I don't know. Do you want this or this? It seems like your only options here is like drown in my emotion, and it's turbulent and I'm up and down and I don't know. And I feel sort of bipolar here, or this, where it's like my environment is too toxic. I can't breathe. And it's like destructive. And it's like, okay, this feels like the energy that you've been around or in, and I'm very sorry that you've been experiencing this, okay? But I feel like previous to this experience, there was something actually even worse, okay? What could be worse than this? Death by a million paper cuts. I am asleep, doing motions, an automaton, like everyone else, and just sort of doing this thing. Why is this worse? Because you have a purpose, a great, grand purpose to be the most beautiful thing, to tap into your divinity. You are a creator here. And to create, to know that you can create, to really connect to that version of you is a beautiful, magical, spiritual thing. Okay. And Spirit wants you to connect to it. And you were asleep to it. Okay. We're all asleep to it until we're awakened to it. And what is this? Your ability to manifest and actually create from a conscious place. You're coming out of any energy that is like in lack. I can't, it doesn't exist, feeling small, feeling at the mercy of your environment, and I got to do whatever it takes to sort of make my way. It's like, no, there is no you got to do what it takes. There's just a surrender energy and leave it up to the divine, and then make choices that are conscious. Am I choosing a wand here that's actually in line with greater truth and authenticity? Because in the past, I was choosing the wand that wasn't authentic to me. Even if I felt like I wasn't, because how could I be authentic when I'm asleep? How can I actually say I'm making decisions when I'm just sort of conditioned, programmed, when there's been, this fed upon me of who I had to be. And I just understood that society's like this and that I am this version of me. It's like, no, you're not. This isn't authentic. This is you playing small. This is you fitting in with society. This is you doing this thing. There's a greater truth. And when you choose it, every time you have a decision in front of you, Every opportunity is a decision for you to choose differently as long as you're conscious. This is what's coming to you only through the process of surrender. Without this experience, you would have never awakened to this possibility. You're being magically transformed here, okay? You're never going to be the same person that you were before this experience. And so no matter how challenging this experience has been, it's for the greater good. It's happening for you, for the release, for you to have the die off of who you're not, because you're not another goldfish. You're not. You're a waymaker here, okay? You're a pioneer, and you are creating this new earth and this conscious version of you that is breaking away from tradition and standard things. Now, what does this do? This means you're going to surround yourself with people who are a part of your tribe and your world. This is you making way for something new, okay? And I really feel like this is taking a long time. It's very slow, but it's very real, and it's going to be very grounding, and it's going to surround you with the right people and the right energy, okay? It's pulling you out of being sort of in the mundane world of hammering out, the pentacle city in the 3D. It's like, I wake up, I go to work, I do the thing, and I come back and I'm good at it. And the better I am at it, the more I think I need to be there. Just because I succeeded at it, or because it provided some sort of success or some sort of thing. It's like, yeah, but the 3D world isn't just about this. We have to connect to the spiritual realms, and we have to know what it's for. And then we could bring it to the 3D. What am I actually producing here? Am I producing things to the highest caliber that I can? Spirit wants you to manifest and bring in certain things from the ethers that haven't been, I was going to say manufactured, haven't been manifested here yet. Only you can manifest this thing here on the 3D. It's very unique to you again. You're going to manifest something very unique. It's very different. It's not another goldfish. It's not another company that sells widgets, vacuums, and digits, just like everyone else. It could be something that is another company, but it could be very, very, very unique and special to you. And your service to the collective is very unique. It must be manifested by you, because you are the individual that can ground this thing. You are the individual that's bringing it to the 3D. Okay, but in order to do this, we have to create space and let go of what wasn't us. I'm not this 9-to-5er, or I'm not this untruther, or I'm not this daydreamer, I'm not this, follower. And I had to see it. And unfortunately, the only way that you could see it was to go through this. And so this is kind of like a badge of honor. And he's like, yeah, Spirit, like, look how tough I am. I had to be thrown through a shipwreck and, I don't know, like Hiroshima bomb in order for me to finally see something about myself. Wow, how strong am I? You had to put me through this for me to finally break, Spirit, break something, surrender, and really just give it up. And so you're a fighter here. You're a fighter, and this isn't giving up. This is truly making a conscious choice to surrender, to see the divine and say, you have the wheel. Be humble enough to know that the little I has no control. The little I cannot manufacture anything. The little I thinks it's a doer. It's going to win. It's going to manifest words of affirmation, and then it happens. Law of attraction, and I'm going to will it into being. It's like yes and no. Yes and no. We have to work with the universe, and the universe is going to put in front of you conscious decisions, or decisions for you to be conscious, so for you to make choices. Okay, and you get to choose still. Do I want to stay wherever I'm at, or choose the wand of sleep? Or do I want to choose the wand of the manifestation here of something that's very unique? Now, for this group, I got to see what this key is. Like I said, we might not see, because it's very unique to you. And this is a collective reading. Okay, but I do feel like there's an inheritance here, or something coming in. And I feel like this is an inheritance from what? From the gods, or from this, like, I don't know, some sort of something coming into you. But why it says inheritance, I don't know. And we see the Hangman in reverse. So I'm not going to pull it because it felt weird, but this is change your tune. The Hangman in reverse is like, I always thought a certain way. I always seen myself in a certain light. And so maybe we're coming out of the Hangman, maybe we've been in limbo. Maybe we've been working with the divine for some time, working on our perception, working on our understanding, working on our values. It's like, I'm finally ready to enter the world. Okay, but I do feel we've been stuck in our own way of thinking, that's been limiting us. And this is what we were working on or through. So, Spirit, what is this key and this inheritance about? Can we get a sneaky peek into what this could be about, or this more information about this blessing, or this incoming information, or this manifestation, or what I'm missing? What does pile 3 need to know? Is there anything more that they can be shown here? What is it all for? Okay, and then we'll close up this reading, okay? 3 cups again. Your community of people, your network of people, you being celebrated, enjoying life and love from a very pure place here with 3 cups. Okay, great. This is all about friendships and our community. Knight of Swords. So Knight of Swords, one of the quickest moving knights. This is about confrontation, facing things sort of head on. Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands is our confidence. This is us magnetizing towards us. Okay, manifestation. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, being seen, being appreciated. The 5 of Swords in reverse. The 4 of Wands, balance and union. Community again, coming through strong. 10 Swords. Yeah, we had to put an end to some form of community already. I think that wasn't us. And 10 Swords is about an ending here. Okay, because it was misaligned with the 5 Swords. 10 Wands, yeah, the burden, the smoke plume, and then the 7 Pentacles in reverse, the surrender here. Okay, beautiful angels. I do not know what this key so much is going to be specific for you, okay? But we are getting more messaging here. And this messaging is sort of reinforcing what we sort of talked about a little, okay? I feel like where you were at in your environment, it would become very, very heavy for you. There is no need to stress. There is no need to be a controller and manipulate and you have to do anything. There is no need to do anything. When we connect to the divine, we know that the divine has the wheel. And I feel like what we were doing was trying to maintain and fight for and belong in an energy of other situations that weren't for us. They weren't for us, okay? People weren't for us, jobs weren't for us, community weren't for us. It was misaligned. We are of a higher caliber, okay? Now, I'm not putting people on like levels or tiers. Higher caliber as in a greater level of consciousness. There is an energy about you that is very much needing to be seen and above sort of the crowd here. It doesn't blend in. There's nothing about blending in with this energy. Okay. And I feel like wherever you were invested in your job or in your relationship or in your situation environment, it was leading nowhere fast. It wasn't producing for you great abundance. You might have thought you were getting abundance, or maybe it seemed like some sort of thing, but Spirit's like, hey, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to see, child. You're going to see the difference between getting by and really like stressing and sweating over something and saying, yeah, I'm in control. It's going perfect. Meanwhile, we're getting scraps. Meanwhile, there's this beautiful key of something very abundant, because whatever you were involved with, trust me, it wasn't producing the greatest capacity of what you're meant here to enjoy. You're meant here to enjoy great abundance. So something about the right community, the right people, the right alignment, the right balance, the right support. This is for you. And you're going through this experience. This is like a change, a milestone right here. Okay, of going from the stagnant version or the doer to this event that's happened that left you sort of reeling. And I don't know how long this takes. This could be over several years. This could be over several months. Whatever this Hiroshima bomb, okay, whatever this is, I feel you've experienced something here that's left you feeling all upside down and crazy. Okay, I say crazy, whatever, just emotionally all torn in so many different directions. So Spirit is wanting you to know you're no longer going to need to be combative or confronting or fighting against anything. This is going to flow very naturally for you. You're going to get support from people around you. Okay, you're no longer having to carry the burdens by yourself. You're giving it to God. You're surrendering this and you're saying, no more. I don't need to be in this environment. What's for me is going to come to me. And I know because I'm working with the divine and I feel safe. I feel like I'm winning. I feel seen. I feel valued. And I feel like here I'm actually going to manifest great abundance. It will be shown to me. It will be given to me with this inheritance. I deserve this, like everyone deserves their great reward, but only when I show true devotion to the divine, because I've surrendered. If I still think I'm the little I I'm still trying to manipulate energy, and I'm actually resisting and fighting the great abundance that wants to come into me, because I'm saying I know more. When I have humility, when I let go and I say, divine, I trust you. I trust you completely. I surrender to you, because I know, like I know you're going to bring to me abundance. Then the universe, with this inheritance, gives to you exactly that, because you've shown the trust here. You've shown, and the only way to do it is by action, surrendering, letting go. Because if I was still like, okay, but I'm still going to be a doer, I'm still going to believe in my old mind story with the hangman in reverse, then no, that isn't a devotion. That isn't a true belief. This is, I'm going to say I believe, but I'm doing the opposite. We're not doing the opposite no more. We're saying, you know what? I surrender. I truly believe in the divine. And so maybe the other shoe never dropped. We might have said we believed in the divine. We might have known there was a greater power, but it's like, but I'll still, I still need to pay my bill. I still need, and we make all these reasons, like, but we still, and people still say this, even in the spiritual community. It's like, yeah, but you still need this, and it's like, yeah, but the universe is all abundant. So who's to draw the line where? This is nothing to do with man-made limitations. This is all about the sky's the limit. For all I know, you're someone here who never has to work a day in your life again, and you're still provided for. I don't know what this is, This is the key. This is the mindset. There is no limitation. There is no more worry. There is no more stress. There is no more limiting beliefs. There is just, the universe is abundant. It's going to provide for me. And just like the flowers don't struggle to bloom, the animals, the birds, the fish, they don't struggle to eat. The universe provides, because God is beautiful and God takes care of his children. I am God's child, and I will be taken care of. And only when I truly surrender by way of action, by not feeding that other energy, am I truly saying, you have the wheel and I'm ready to receive this inheritance, whatever you're giving to me. And I feel like it's a true community, a true support, a true abundance. Beautiful angel, this is your reading. I love this reading for you guys. I'm sorry you went through this, but not sorry, because without this, we wouldn't be in this beautiful energy. And if you haven't gone through it and you're still here, which is why you clicked on this video, this doesn't feel good. You're getting out of this. Okay, trust, but it does require surrender, and true surrender means I'm not still 1 foot over here, still believing in the doer. And then you don't believe. You still think you're a doer. All right. Beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.